Welcome back to Clocked Out Podcast. We're your hosts, Stick, Avery, and McCahl.
Welcome back to episode 4. We're going to go ahead and answer some questions that some people sent in on my Instagram post the other day. All right, we're going to start out with question number 1, which I didn't realize we didn't answer this in like our first 2 episodes. So somebody did write it and they asked, how did you guys meet or how do you know each other?
Oh, that's a good one. It started with Avery.
It did start with
me and Avery.
No, it started with me and Avery because she's my sister.
Oh, I guess that's true. Well, clearly it started with Avery and McCahl
Yep.
because you're sisters. And then I met Avery. What grade did we meet? 5th grade?
Yeah, but you guys were kind of separated from us like that.
Ron
rest
burnt
of
down in
fifth grade.
4th grade. We were in the upstairs of the high school after that. And that 5th grade was when we went to Etnire.
We weren't really friends in 5th grade. Kayla.
No, we
Ryan.
weren't. You were still like Kate and Jill, Kayla.
I mean, we were like, we played some of the same sports.
That was your crew.
Yes. No, 5th grade too, because we weren't on combined.
Yeah,
teams
I actually
until
remember we
junior
played
high.
against each other. Wait, that might have been 4th grade. 3rd.
Was it
Oh,
basketball?
right. Yes. But the year we beat you in the
Well, we
championship.
beat you guys when we were the shooting
Yes, I did.
stars.
Dexter Perkins' team. We were maroon.
No, we were purple.
I think that was the year I beat you in my yellow team.
I know this for a fact. Yes. When your mom and Julie coached. Yes. Yep. That year. We beat you that year.
Oh, is that when we were pink? That's when my mom and Julie coached.
Yeah, you probably did. I have no
Yes.
recollection of that. But
But
anyway,
this was like older we beat you
Okay.
because I was on Dexter.
we were not
Dexter's
friends
team.
then. Yes. And
I do.
I would say we started to become friends probably 6th grade volleyball, maybe.
We were rivals.
But Stick didn't talk that much for those of you that don't know her. But all of you know her.
Probably.
She was very quiet, so we weren't like tight. Like you were friends with like Carly Cook, Mallory. We became close probably our sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, but I wasn't like coming over to your house and hanging out in 6th grade. Is when it really clinched. No, it was before that because it was before I got my license. Remember, as soon as we got my license, you're the first bitch I picked up. Yeah, I did.
Stick used to take your ass to McDonald's.
Yeah, you're literally the first person I picked
But
up.
like
after
my
getting
freshman year, I feel
license.
like I hung out with like Emily Elliott and Presley Arneson.
We had to have
and,
been
like,
friends
Sarah
prior to that. I
Love.
wouldn't just come and fucking pick you up.
God, you're so forgettable. I'm just kidding.
I went through a phase of hanging out
just
with them
kidding.
too. Yeah.
True. Yeah, right.
Wow.
That's probably what people are thinking.
Wow, how the
recluse,
tables
baby.
have turned though.
Yeah.
Avery,
That's fair.
who? I'm just kidding.
But sometime in high school we became close. I mean, at
You're
least
still
15
Avery
years ago.
Sanders.
Yeah.
Yes. Because for
I
a while
mean,
I was the only friend.
No,
with a
Jordan
license,
Poniak
and
had a
I'd pick
license
all
before
hoes
you.
up.
So they were using you then?
Yeah.
Were you really their friend?
Who knows?
I just said she had her license before Stick, so I think that's fair. Like our friend group, like everyone who we played sports with and stuff like that. So
Yes.
Oregon girls.
There
Yeah.
was like the Mont Morris girls
then
that
we all
played
kinda
sports,
linked
and
up,
then the
you know.
Oregon
And
girls,
then how did we all link up?
From me.
and probably playing basketball.
Probably, but
Right?
I feel like McCall started coming around before that because you're my sister. So like when we hung out, like sometimes we were, but in high school, it's not like we
Right,
all
that's
hung out
true.
that much. I would say it was after high school when we started. Own group,
Yeah, I feel like
and
you
we had our
McCall
own
had her
group,
own-
and
Yeah.
didn't intermix a ton till after high school.
Yeah, for sure. I would say after high school. No, I know. When you guys like lived in the Byron house is when we all really started getting
Oh
close.
yes.
I was out of college, yeah, obviously.
I was still in college, but yeah, you guys all lived together in the Byron house, and then obviously I met Stick through you. But I think primarily like we all started hanging out because you guys lived in the Byron house when I was in college, and you partied, and it was the same
So we
time I
had
was
no
still
rules.
partying.
We were lawless.
Which aligned with your last year of college.
Anyways,
so that you would have
So basically, one's my sibling and one is my friend from a small town. Like, it's not like you wouldn't have known Stick without me. I mean, there's 150 people per class.
that's fair, but there's still a lot of people in McCall's class I don't know.
Really? Oh, well, I guess you're my sister.
You know
so,
it because
yeah,
it's
my
your
sister's
sister's
class.
class.
Fair.
Okay, so fair to say that Avery and Stick were friends in high school, and then I met Stick through Avery after high school. So the second question that was sent in is, who is the most influential person in your life and how do they impact you? Stick.
I gotta go first, huh? I wouldn't say it's just one person, like you said earlier, Avery. Probably my grandma and my mom and my dad.
Why? They're so influential that you just don't even know why.
You know, that's a great.
I mean, it kind of
question.
makes sense. So I feel like if somebody's so influential in your life, like it doesn't come down to a simple moment.
Right. It's not one single moment I can pinpoint and be like, this is why.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just several things
I mean,
growing up.
I feel like the
that shaped
parents
me.
is the obvious question because they're literally the people that raised you. For most people, your parents raise you. So of course, like I would say that too. But what about like
Well, yeah.
I've shared probably definitely more things with you guys than I have with my parents. Like, so like influential, yes, they influenced me probably the most at the beginning of
Oh,
my
yeah, that's
life.
true.
They were role models, things like that. LOL.
Yeah.
She did not.
My
Did
mom
she?
did say one time you're a bad
Oh,
influence.
I was like, wait. Because I feel like I
Yeah.
wasn't. I feel like us together was bad. But us individually. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like a mixture of us.
But I would have to say, like,
Still
I
not
agree with
good.
everything that everybody said. Is like, yes, there's multiple people that influence you throughout your life, but also I think it depends on what the question is like influence you on what. You know what I mean? Like I feel like mom and dad, like growing up, influenced me to be the worker that I am today and have the work ethic that I have because we did grow up like watching our parents. Why are you making that face?
Or
You're on
okay.
mute.
Or it just influenced you to be like a kind, compassionate person.
That's why I said it depends on what you're talking about. How did they influence you?
Well, that
Oh, she's yelling. All right, so everyone knows we are recording in the same room.
tension's higher than
So
usual.
I might actually have to break up a fight.
I feel like too, like my husband is an influential person for me. But I've been with my
I feel
husband.
like maybe it depends the stage of
Yes.
life you're in.
But CJ's continuously influenced my life since I was 17 because that's how long like that's a long time too. So I feel like we've made, and you change so much from 17 to 30 years old, right? So yeah.
But also there's also not just one person in your life that's influencing you. So I guess I don't know, we're kind of rabbit holing this question and I think we had a good answer with Stick leaving it at her parents and her grandparents. We all agree.
Probably are the
your
biggest.
parents, your
The people you spend
grandparents,
the
your
most time with are
husband.
your biggest influential people
Yeah.
for most people. Period.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay.
Yes.
Question number 3 is, if you could pick a favorite age, what age would it be and why?
My favorite age. I feel like there's two.
Okay.
Maybe like when I turned 16. It was a little like freeing. Like I got my license. I can go do a lot more things.
You could pick up Avery.
I could pick up Avery and go to McDonald's whenever we wanted.
Unlimited
mocha frappes.
Paid for by Jackie Aunt.
Well,
No, mostly Jeff and Jeff.
yeah, he mostly hustled my dad,
Her dad and brother.
One time we hustled them both on the same day.
I feel like I remember that. I don't know why.
Yeah, but then they chatted, and then my brother figured it out, and he's like, "Give me my fucking
He's like, "Give me
money
my-"
back."
Yeah. Yeah, fair. What's the second age?
No, probably 30.
That's exactly what, like, we were talking to CJ about this earlier, and that's what we kind of said. Like, there's two. CJ said his age right now would be his favorite, and I would say same because everything that it's taken to get to this point, like, I feel like I'm most at peace at this age. Like, I'm unbothered by a lot of things, and it's a lot easier to just, like,
and maybe
live.
it's like we saw this stage of life, like growing up our whole lives, like at this point, like our parents' age and stuff, and how it should be, and how we wanted it. So now that we're all here, we're all married, there's kids, like that's how you wanted your life to be, and it finally turned to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Like, you're working up to that.
Like, obviously, I'm 2 years younger than you guys, but I would say, like, the age that I'm in. Yeah, I'm young, just so everybody knows.
Huge difference. Just so you guys know, she's not 30.
I'm not. I'm not 30. But I would say, even though I'm not 30, like, I would say this is my favorite age too. But I think it's because I hang out with a lot of people that are older than me, so I feel like I'm in the same.
You also like kind of in the same stage of life. Like,
Yeah, 28, I was in this stage of life
yeah,
too.
married.
Married, I had my first child. Like, this was my,
Yeah, 28.
like, I'm still in that stage,
Yeah.
and so I feel like that's
Yeah, because you
relevant.
had Collins at 28.
I did, yeah. So I've been in this stage of life for a couple years now, and it's my favorite. But I would say, and I was saying this earlier, I have 2 ages too, but so like 16 for me, fun, but also like not fun. Like the hormone, like the
That's true.
craziness of teenage
That's true.
years.
That's when I was on that one shot. Do I have to retract my
Lupron.
statement? Because I was a psychopath
maybe.
on that.
Yeah, I was like,
Maybe that might have been. That was definitely not everyone else's favorite age of mine.
no. I would say like 10. I think
Yeah.
like 10, you're still so naive. Everything's still so new. You don't
You're
have like
still
the
like a
traumas
kid.
of the real
You're
world
like
yet.
still a
Yeah.
true kid.
And like everything's so new to you still. You don't have the drama of like
Yes.
boys and hormones.
Like you look
and-
forward to your mom taking you to McDonald's after school.
yes, like that. Like simple. It's a simpler life.
Sorry, I just took my headphones out. It was a lot. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think I have 2 ages, but mine's a little different. I agree, like with childhood, yeah, that was fun, simpler. You didn't have bills, you didn't have stress. Like it was really just like the most stressful thing was like hang out with your friends and them saying, no, you can't like come over here to my
Like your parents not
castle.
letting you stay
Yeah,
out
or your
late.
parents not letting you spend the night at somebody's house. But I think my second age would be 26. And I think because I really
So 28 and
28 and
26.
26, yeah.
Okay.
So 26 is when I got engaged, but I feel like at 25, I don't know, it was like almost like I didn't know, I was stuck between that age of being like an adult, but also still feeling like I was in my younger 20s to where everything was still new to me. Like I was renting, we'd moved a lot.
So like if you're asking what the worst age for you was, it'd be your early 20s.
Yeah, my early 20s
Yes.
was the worst age for
Early
me.
20s, I would never go
Terrifying.
back.
No.
No, me neither. I think that is the age, like anywhere from 20
To
to
25.
like 25. I don't
I
know.
don't wanna do that
I
again either.
literally, I feel like when I turned 26, this sounds dramatic, but I felt like a weight was like lifted off my shoulders because it was almost like I was in a cloudy sky and then the sun
Yes.
broke through at 26.
Yes.
And that's so dramatic, but I feel like it's because
No, I feel the same way.
yeah, I don't know. Like it was like that nudge to get over that hump of being like, "Oh, I'm still young and wild
Right.
and
In
like
that wild phase
but I didn't
where,
want to be, but then once I turned
Yeah.
26, I was like, I don't have to be.
right. You're like,
Yeah, like
you're like, I'm on my own insurance plan now.
Yeah, I'm on my
So-
yes. I'm on my own insurance.
That's what
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah. The moral of the story is I had less money to go out and party with
True. Because you had more bills.
because I had to pay my insurance.
Yeah, right. Insurance kicked in. Took all the partying money.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What is one piece of advice you wish you could tell your younger self? Deep.
That is deep. I would probably literally tell my younger self to just, it's gonna be okay. Like, you're gonna get married one day. You're gonna have a family. Like, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you go through like a young breakup and you think it's the end of the
Oh
world
my
because that's the
gosh.
only person
Me
you
and
love.
Avery were talking about this because she didn't have like a young breakup. And I was
True.
saying that was like
Devastating.
Devastating.
Yes.
And I think I kind of dodged a bullet in that sense. Like I was so headstrong on like there was 2 boys that I liked and they didn't like me back at the time. So okay, fine. Then I
that's
don't
just
like anyone
it.
else. And my heart's broken because they don't like me back. But at least they didn't like take advantage of me and like sleep with me. And then I have to live through that. Like that didn't happen to me. Like I didn't live that part of life where I had to
Yeah.
basically have sex as a teenager, like at that vulnerable age. Like that's so
Yeah.
vulnerable. And then have the heartbreak, like the fallout, and then have to see them at
But
school
it's so
every day.
yeah,
It's
that's terrible. Not only see them at school, but we all went to a small town, so it's like yeah, you're seeing them at
Dating
school, and
each
they're
other.
all gonna be dating your friends. And I think
Yeah.
what
And it's gonna be like the next day.
yeah, the next day,
Yeah, oh,
or
stay-
they'd
yeah.
been texting the whole time you were dating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was never
But
good.
it was your friend, so like you didn't think anything of it. But I also think like at that age, you're trying to learn of like your confidence, I guess. And so at the same time, like you feel on such a high when a guy likes you and they choose you, and then when they break up with you and like move on to your best
a
friend,
low
it's
low.
such a low, like because you're questioning at that age, like what did I, and you still do it now. I'm not saying you don't as an adult, but it's a little different. Like you have more confidence as an adult than you did at that age. Like
For sure.
Totally different. And I think as an adult, like if you both make that decision to kind of just like be casual together, like you're adults and you can do that and you can mentally maybe handle that more than you being like, this is the love of my life, which
Yes.
is how it feels
Yes.
when you're that young. And then them being like, actually,
You're
your
like,
friend's
I
hot.
already moved on to
We
Susie.
like your friend.
Sorry.
Yeah.
and can we normalize like getting cheated on when you're younger? Because when you get cheated,
Traumatizing.
Normalize. It
not
should be
normalized, but the
normalized.
feelings, like it's way worse.
Oh, I think
Way
yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
Getting cheated on when you're younger.
But like
'Cause
I
I
said,
feel like-
if you get cheated on as an adult, you don't have to freaking
No,
see
I feel like
them.
and you're in control of your emotions more
You
as an
are. Your
adult.
hormones have leveled out, and at the same time, your confidence has been built to where, like, when some yes, I'm
Yes.
not saying it doesn't suck. Like when you're a grown woman and a guy cheats on you, it sucks. But
Obviously
at the same time,
devastating, but
yeah, at the same time, like you're a badass adult. You have friends. You don't have to see them every day.
like you're gonna recover
I
from
wanna,
it.
I wanna just jump in here. Except for if you get cheated on as a married mother, you know what I mean. I think that's worse.
Yeah, that's true.
I think maybe
That would be worse because if you have kids with them, it is like you see them go to school every day. You're
You're stuck with that
you have to
person.
co-parent
Yes.
forever. Even when your kids are past 18,
Right.
when they
You
get
can't
married, when
disconnect
they
yourself
have
from
kids,
that.
now your grandkids are the same.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Grandkids,
we're taking that down. Like I was just saying, like surface level. Like I guess maybe I wasn't thinking about married and having kids. I was thinking just when
like
you're
those preteen,
when you're a
teenage
preteen
years.
and your hormones
It
are all
feels
over
like
the
that middle
place and you
world.
think you're in love with somebody, it honestly hurts. I can't even describe it. Like I've been broken up with as an adult. I haven't been cheated on as an adult, I guess, but I've been cheated on as a preteen, and that shit fucking sucks. So maybe I'm naive and just retract everything I just said for the last 5 minutes. It sucks either way. Okay,
No,
don't
yeah,
come
I
for
would
me.
say I'm not seeing your take on it.
Yeah, I
Like, I
get
get
both
it.
ways. I get
Like
it. I think that it sucks in different ways because you're in a different part of life.
right.
Yeah, for sure. I think it sucks now because it would suck now because we're married and have kids and there would be more at stake, where when you're younger but our hormones now are more balanced and our emotion control is better,
Yeah.
where when you were younger your emotions and your hormones were all over the place and you had to see them every day and they might date your best friend, and the one that cheated on with your boyfriend might be your best friend.
Take a deep breath.
Sounds personal.
It was
Sounds
personal. Okay.
Yeah.
That
That's why I
opened a
think I'll just
wound.
encourage my kids. Yeah. I'll just encourage my kids to just don't be that serious in high school.
No, it's really
worth
not.
it. Like the odds of people do get married who date in
obviously
high
there's
school.
some high school sweethearts,
Yeah, and
but
that's fair. But like,
I can only think of one.
yeah, I can think of two.
I can't think of any.
It's happened.
Yeah,
Like I'm not saying that, but like I'm gonna.
but that's like
encourage them
one
not to-
couple out of every class.
Yeah. Just like don't take it so seriously, and honestly, like I think that intimacy in high school is fine, but if you like do you think not having intimacy in high school would have saved you from a lot of heartbreak?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, and I feel like I did kind
I
of
don't
dodge
think I
that in
really
a
did
learned
too.
anything about
Yeah, and you did too for the
Yeah.
most
Oh, I didn't
part.
think about
Like,
that. So I'm really the
Yeah.
only one who had like long-term high school boyfriends.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
no, Stick
Well,
did.
she had
Mute.
So I guess
Yeah.
I'm really the only one who had like a long-term, like multiple long-term, like over a year boyfriends in high school.
where you really
Where
felt
I
something
did
for them.
really-
like you felt
I
deeply
did feel
in love.
deeply in love.
Yes.
With them, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That makes more sense.
But do I think those relationships helped me like later on in my life in relationships? No, I think they hindered me more than they helped me. To be honest, like a lot of the trauma that I felt in those relationships,
You carry that with
carried
you.
it. Yeah, I carried that with me in my next relationship, and I think it did hinder those relationships.
It gave you like relationship
Yeah,
issues.
it gave me
That would make
confidence
sense, though.
problems, and it gave me trust
trust
issues.
issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so did we answer that question?
I
don't know.
answered my
Stick
question,
said-
but Avery didn't answer it.
so you said don't take it so seriously, but Avery, I don't know if you really answered the question.
Like, what would I tell my
Yeah.
younger self? I'm gonna go a lot less deep here. take the nap. You know,
Yeah.
get some good sleep.
That's true. I was a full napper through high school.
Yeah,
I took naps.
yeah, but I mean, like as a kid, I fought that shit,
Oh, I never
and now
fought
I would go
naps.
back. Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I'm sure I fought some, and I
Let's
definitely
go,
know.
Jackie.
I definitely know I fought showers.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Like
like coming inside from
knock
playing
down,
outside and
drag
having to take
out.
a bath.
I'm not
Yeah,
getting in the fucking shower.
Dirty kid. Yeah, I think for me, I would tell my younger self, like, dude, I had the thought and it just escaped me. It was pretty insightful. So insightful.
Really, was
maybe.
it? Because you forgot it
Philosophical.
pretty
Yeah.
quick.
No, I got stuck on what you guys were talking about. I feel like I would tell my younger self. Oh, I know what I would tell her. Trust your gut. You know what I mean? Like, trust your
Oh,
gut.
yes.
If you think that,
Like even with answering a
Yes.
question in a classroom.
yeah, trust your gut. And I think
Yes.
trust your gut with your friendships is my number one thing. Like,
Yes.
if you feel like something negative is happening,
It's off.
it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like it took me
Right.
so many years to learn that, not even just through that age, but like so many years
Mhm.
to be like, oh, it's not happening, like talking myself out of things. And I wish I could go
Mhm.
back and be like, no, just trust how you're feeling and trust your gut
Yes.
and say what you want to say, because your
Yes.
feelings are valid, and 90% of the time what you think is happening.
I feel like
Yes.
actually our friend group, we validated each other's feelings pretty well.
I think so.
I didn't feel like I had a whole lot of those issues where I felt like I should have like spoke up and spoke my mind. I feel like we were pretty open with each other,
Yeah.
but we had a really like tight knit class in general.
That's true.
We all got along pretty well for
Yeah.
the most part.
There wasn't really anyone in our class that was like that
There wasn't
didn't
a
get
ton of
along.
drama.
No.
No.
Not
So
that ever comes to mind.
no.
Yeah.
Just that one time I put band-aids all over Avery's
Avery
locker.
hates Band-Aids.
There was some tension
I'm
that
sure there
week.
was.
I don't want to talk about that because my coworker put stickers all over my phone and put a band-aid on my water bottle yesterday.
Yeah, I need to be friends with her.
Yeah, you already are friends with her.
Oh, I
Is
know
it-
who it
oh.
is.
Yeah, so
Love that.
good friends.
Shout out,
have.
I know who you
Yeah,
are.
you know who you are. All right, the next question is, if you could have one dinner with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be?
I think Avery should answer this one first.
Really? Okay.
No, I've answered them all first.
I feel like this is gonna be like the obvious, right?
I feel like mine's gonna be not obvious at all, and you guys are gonna just
Is it Josh Allen?
he's still alive.
Is it dead or alive?
Oh. So I could have dinner with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
you're
So is
saying.
it him then? Okay.
No, it's not. It's
No,
not.
it's not. Is it JFK?
I told you, McCall, that she would know.
Yeah, let's cut her out of the group. I would say this is probably pretty obvious, but probably my dead grandparents. I mean,
That's obvious.
because realistically, she's
No,
mad
I'm
because
mad
McCall
because
was gonna
I was
say
gonna
that.
say that because
But why wouldn't you want to have dinner with your any dead loved one? Like I feel like that question's not really like
I don't think so, because if
you should say just
Avery,
dead or
not
just
everybody,
alive.
not
Yeah.
everybody feels like they have to have another meeting with their grandparents. Like, I feel like if you had if you had a good goodbye with your grandparents and you felt like that was like closure, you wouldn't need to have another dinner. Like, for me, our grandparents died pretty young, and
But you still just even say in 20 years from now, say our grandparents died when we were in our early 20s. Well, Granny technically did. We were older. What if you have 3 more kids by then?
I guess my saying,
you're always gonna want to see them
well, yeah,
again.
I'm always gonna want to see them, but I'm saying like the grandma specific, like Grandma Sanders is who I'm thinking of, because I feel like Granny saw us, like you just said, in our 20s. You know what I mean? Like, she saw me as an adult woman. She could kind of see who I was going to be, where I felt like we lost Grandma Sanders at a very young age, and it was very unexpected. At least it felt that way for me as at the age that I was
It was
at.
unexpected.
To where, like,
Yeah.
now I would love to sit down and just have that one night as an adult to have that conversation. Like, we were able to ask Granny a lot of questions about about her childhood and how she grew up.
Yeah. We have a whole family tree on Grandma Sanders'
But I
side,
don't need
though.
a family tree. I want to hear her life experiences. I don't need
Yeah.
her to tell me who I'm related to. I can Google that. But yeah, so Avery kind of took the wind out of my sails. But yeah, I would want to have one.
I mean,
But I
feel
would have
like
said that
that's-
anyway.
Yeah, I feel like that's the obvious answer.
Okay, if
I was
that's
just, I was,
Because wouldn't you want to have? You would
hold
want to
on a
have.
stick. You said JFK, so was it obvious?
because I was thinking of someone like outside the box,
Yes.
like not an obvious answer.
Yeah. Because you would pick your grandparent over JFK, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
fair.
so if we had
Yes.
to go out of the box, Avery, if we aren't going family members, who would you pick?
Okay.
Like we aren't making it deep. You just would genuinely want to know
Like,
more
pick
about this
person's
person's
brain or
life.
something.
And
You're gonna have to give me a second.
oh, that was aggressive. I don't know why JFK doesn't come straight to your mind.
Apparently, that's bizarre of me.
Stick, did
Came
you want to
right
be
to
another one
me.
of his mistresses, or
I just wanted to like walk alongside him his entire life.
like just like
Why?
yeah?
What
I'm
makes you
so
so obsessed?
intrigued.
I agree. Like I know you've always been obsessed with him, but it's a little bizarre.
I
Like,
mean, I don't think it's bizarre to. I'm not like reading a book about him every single weekend.
you read a lot of books about
I
him.
did read a lot of books about him and
What makes
watched.
him so interesting to you?
I don't know, just his whole life and everything is interesting to me. The way he died, all the theories,
Yeah,
everything.
that's fair. That's an interesting.
And it's not
yeah.
like he had a boring childhood. Like he was one of like 13 fucking kids.
Yeah.
And his dad was a very high up political person.
Sure.
So he wasn't like born in Montmorris and went to school with the boy down the street and that was his life.
No,
He's just very interesting to me.
no one's gonna want to have dinner with us when we die.
Exactly. No one's gonna be sitting on a couch and say Jordan and Glima.
Yeah. No. Probably
Okay,
not.
Avery, you had some time to think, so
I'm still thinking. I mean, there's no like obvious answer for me that comes to mind where I'm like, oh yeah, for sure that person. Like I'm trying to think. It almost goes hand in hand with like who's the most influential like dead person to you. You know, if we're going there, because I can't like that's not a family member, and I would want to like pick their brain. You know.
no, for me, like I don't think it's somebody who's dead. For me, I would choose honestly, and I don't come for me. I think I would choose Alex Cooper.
Who is that?
She is the host of Call Her Daddy.
Call me daddy.
And the
Call
whole
her
reason
daddy.
why I would choose her is because she's around our age and she has built like she's just the smartest businesswoman that I know. She's taken like a podcast that is like based off of sex and
I would love if you sat down and ate dinner with her and made our
Yeah.
podcast pop
Yeah,
off.
help.
but she has evolved
Help.
that into something more. And so it's interesting to me because like she is one of the most famous podcast hosts
Yeah.
around.
Everyone knows that
everybody knows that
podcast.
podcast. But it depends. Like when you talk to people at like when I first started listening to it, like when she first started it, I was in college, so I was fully into like how it was with like the sex and when she had
Right.
her co-host on it. Like
You were like in the same
I was in
realm
the same
as
realm,
her.
but I guess I've grown with her developing or evolving her podcast. Like I've evolved with
yeah.
it, but she's done it in such a great way. I haven't seen anybody else do it. Like a lot of people stick to what they know, and I'm not saying that she's gotten away from the sex and stuff, but she's also interviewing huge people. And it's more serious and she's doing tours, like she's going on tours like a comedian, I feel like almost. She's just a really good businesswoman and I would
Yeah,
love
she's like recording live
Right.
podcasts like on stage and people are in the audience watching this being
exactly.
filmed.
And I would love to sit down and just ask her like how did you do it? And I think she's
Yeah.
also down to earth and I think she's funny and I would love to
You
sit down
should-
and have a
You
dinner
should
with
definitely sit down with her.
her. Maybe one
Shout
day.
out, Alex. Sorry, I didn't know who you were. My B.
Wow, I knew who you were.
Avery,
help
don't
us.
you remember where my Degrade Me sweatshirt came from?
Yeah,
It
but
was
I didn't
that
know her name.
podcast.
Yeah.
I knew the podcast. I just didn't know her name specifically. Yeah, I'm struggling. I'm gonna have to say
You can
any like I could circle back around, but like any influential, like powerful women, really. I guess kind of where you're coming from.
Oprah.
I actually that did pop in my mind. I feel like Oprah was very in my life from a young age. Like I watched her
Or
a lot.
Ellen.
Yeah, I watched more Oprah though, and then
Every time I feel like I was at your house, you had the Ellen show on.
Ellen was before Oprah, so yeah, probably
Was Ellen before?
Yeah.
because I watched
Oprah?
that for was it Dr. Phil?
Oh,
I watched Dr. Phil, Ellen, and Oprah. So,
okay.
but I feel like Oprah was the main one because we watched her at Grandma
Yeah, we
Sanders'
did watch
house.
a lot of Oprah.
Yeah,
But I also feel
lot
like
of
she's
Oprah.
similar vibes as Alex Cooper, like just on like back when we were growing up, like podcasts weren't really a thing. But she definitely evolved like the talk show kind of
Yeah,
world.
world.
Yeah.
I'm
She
pretty
was
sure
kind
she
of
was involved
essentially-
with Diddy, wasn't she?
Oh my god,
Oprah?
really?
I think I heard Oprah. Yeah,
The diddler?
with the diddler.
Anyways.
Someone fact
Somebody
check me, but
fact
I'm pretty
check.
sure I saw her involved in a video with Diddy.
No. Well, in a video, like, yeah, because they were both famous. Was she like at his parties though? Is what I'm asking.
I thought she had involvement like that. Like I know Diddy went on her talk show.
She was doing
Or am I thinking of the
dirty
other
sex
lady?
parties with Oprah.
Oprah was like the
Diddy and
one
O-
where she's like, you get a prize, you get a prize. Like when her audience.
Yeah, but she had other prizes waiting for people.
Was it baby oil? Is that how he
Maybe.
had so much?
Probably.
Whoa, there is some connections out here. They're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, more into that. Google it. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys
Everyone's
figure that one out for yourself.
connected.
All right. The next
Powerful people.
question is, if finances were not an option, would you choose a different life? So like not be married to your husband, obviously, but would you choose maybe a new house or where you live or what you do for work or maybe how many kids you plan to have if you plan to have any or something like that?
Well, first of all, if finances were not an issue,
Yeah.
I ain't working.
Yeah. Bye.
I was gonna say like the
That-
obvious. Like I'm gonna change certain parts for sure.
Yeah, certain parts immediate change. Like I'm not working.
Yeah.
No.
Like I'm not someone who sounds unambitious and uninfluenced and I don't know,
But
but
just speak your feelings.
I don't desire to work. Like there's not
Okay.
a certain job out there that I'm like, I want to do this every single day.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm,
I mean, don't get me wrong, working for where I work now is great.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have to, I
I'm
wouldn't do
sure
it.
your bosses
No.
would say the same thing.
Oh, I'm sure they would too.
Yeah.
I know my boss
Yeah.
would say the same thing. But if I don't have to work, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
And who would?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend my whole life at a job
Right. Away from like your
for just to
family
retire
your
and
friends.
Yeah.
pass away in 6 years
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I
and
won't
that
be able to
happens a
retire
lot.
till we're 80.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. We might pass at work
We probably will.
when we're 96.
Probably. Didn't you hear about that one lady? I think it was in like Arizona or something. She passed at her desk and they didn't find her. Like she was dead for like 4 days.
What?
Okay.
Yes.
How old was
Hold on, let me
she?
Google it.
Was she older? Because there's been a lot of like retired people having to come back to the workforce.
Yeah.
So maybe she just passed at work.
Yeah. It says woman found dead in her cubicle 4 days after last clocking in. That was in Tempe, Arizona.
4 days. So
Wells
you
Fargo.
know, even if it went through over the
Think about,
weekend,
like,
there's still at
janitors.
least 2 work days
Yes.
involved in those 4
Yes,
days.
no one's
Nobody
known
found her. So yeah, Stick, I agree with you. If I had enough finances, I ain't working because nobody found this lady after 4 days of her being dead in her
Yes.
cubicle.
That's whack.
Yeah.
Because 2 people were in that building working 2 out of 4 of those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like the custodial.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
The custodial people.
They're obviously not cleaning. Nothing.
That was
Not
the test,
her.
and they
Not her
that was the
office.
test, and they failed.
They literally failed. This woman's life was.
That's
I'm
weird. In
just
this
kidding.
article, it says they fired the current cleaning company and hired a new one. I'm just
Oh.
kidding.
Oh, I was like,
well,
do tell.
that's
Okay.
all.
I was like, did they find blood? They didn't clean something up.
So, Stick, obviously you wouldn't work. Avery, is there anything that you would do differently?
I'd buy a bigger house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I
same
mean,
area.
Oh,
mean-
so Stick would
Oh,
stay in the
really?
same area.
I mean, I feel like I'd be one of those people that has a house at their hometown.
Sure,
and
but you
then
had enough
have
money to.
I have a Florida house. I have an Arizona
Yeah.
house.
Me too.
I would agree.
Me too.
I have places to travel to that are
Yeah,
different.
and
Yeah.
maybe I'd have like a private jet
But
because I hate going through airport security.
Same. And then I could just fly home whenever I wanted or fly to my other houses and live there whenever I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I didn't have like an ungodly amount of money, but I had like enough to not work and do like average things with, I would just want like a 1,800 square foot ranch.
Yes, that's all I want.
Just
3 bedroom,
a
2
nice-
bath,
Yep.
finished
Yeah,
basement.
attached 2-car garage.
Yes, with an island kitchen.
Yep.
That's all I want.
I would
And
want
then-
some horses.
Okay.
You can get some
really?
horses.
Go into that because that doesn't. You don't strike me as a
Avery,
horse
when we
girl.
went to Yellowstone, all I wanted to do was go ride horses, and you were too scared.
They're very strong and powerful.
And that's why I
Okay.
want them. They're cute. They're
Okay.
like they just kind of remind me of Finn, like my golden retriever, just big. They're very nice
Okay.
and they're very like calming.
Do you just compare a horse to your 60-pound golden retriever?
I
was like,
did, I
okay.
did, but yeah, I would want.
I have a 100-pound pit bull, and I don't feel the same about horses.
I would want horses.
I would basically just spend my whole day doing whatever I wanted and what I thought
Yes.
was going to benefit my family.
I didn't have a
spend time.
schedule that I had to,
Yeah.
be on this meeting at this time. I had to get this project done at this
Yeah.
time. Like,
And for me, I think I would definitely have more kids. Like, I think right now Caleb and I are talking like maybe 2 kids, but that's more. I mean, we don't have.
Like, how many more would you have?
I would probably have one more, like 3 or 4,
Like 3.
because then I could afford like childcare.
right.
Yeah, childcare is crazy. But if you space them out, that's what CJ and I were talking about. Like, we're between 2 and 3 kids, but if we do have a third one, like, we're gonna have to space it out. So at least Collins is in kindergarten, so we're not paying for 3 kids in daycare because that ain't happening.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that would be wild.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
Don't do that.
No, we won't. I won't. I specifically will
3
not.
kids in daycare. I mean, I'm sure you get some kind of discount.
A three
Both terms.
3 deal.
A 3, like you bring 3 of your children here. Like, there has to be some corners cut.
Yeah.
Well, we do get a discount for like each child, like after the first one.
Right.
But my brother and sister-in-law don't. Their daycare does not provide any discounts for more children.
So you have to pay full price for entering both your children into
Yes.
this daycare.
That's a crime. Sorry, I'd go somewhere else.
Wait.
If I could. I know they're all
Why
jam-packed.
don't we open a daycare?
No, really. There's money to be made there, but I can't handle
No.
that.
No, I
Sorry.
can't either.
All right,
I
so
get-
we're out.
I like to do like peaceful things throughout my entire
And I
day.
get like
And that's not peaceful.
I get like overstimulated by like I'm very like touch. Like sticky.
yeah,
Ew.
and constant.
No.
It is constant. You don't. It's never a break. I mean, I can. Daycare workers, shout
Yeah,
out to
shout
you.
out to you guys. That's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, honestly though, but we're also dealing with like adult children all day, every day. So
I'll take adult children over children.
yeah, that's
children.
true. At least they
Yeah.
can handle
They can
their
at least go to the
emotions for the most
bathroom.
part.
They don't
That's
wear
true. You don't have to wipe
diapers.
their ass.
That's true. That changes things.
All right. So I think we all kind of agree on that. Like if we obviously, I mean, it's kind of an obvious question. I don't know. I agree with Stick. Like I feel like I'm pretty content where my house is at, and I love my house. If I could pick my house up and move it like in a different plot of land where I live now, I would, and then I would have vacation homes. And I also think for me, I have to work like a little bit, or I have to have something, I guess. Like, but I guess if
Yeah,
I
a
didn't work, I could
routine.
have like I could join a Pilates gym and go every morning. Like
Right.
as long as I had that, that would be great.
Mhm.
All right. So the next question is how do you keep your marriage from getting boring?
Do you want me to go first?
Of course.
I think the key to not making it boring is you have to take one another's jokes. Like there can't be one person that is a jokester and the other one gets butthurt. And like you can't be playful and jokingly with yourselves. I just mean like you have to laugh with each other, at each other. Like you can't take everything so serious. Because I feel like just because me and Dylan are very playful. Like we can poke fun at each other. Yes, and we don't get mad at each other. We laugh at each other.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say so you would say Stick, you guys keep your marriage like from getting boring because you guys laugh with each other, laugh at each other.
Yes, and I think it helps that we have a lot of the same interests. Like I
Yeah.
love watching football with him,
Yes.
so we bond over that. Like we just have the same like activities.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
Yes.
Like we enjoy the same thing.
Yes.
I would say that, but I would also say like you need to have your own stuff too. Like I think you
Oh,
need
yeah.
a break from each other so that it's not constantly like you're always together and then you're getting
Yeah.
bored of each other. Cuz you're going to be together all like you have to
I honestly think though I could be with Dylan 24/7 every single day and not get tired of him.
Yeah, I would kill Caleb.
I'm a psycho in that
I
sense.
also disagree with that. I need my space from him.
I mean, I love
him.
my
Yeah, me
space too. Like I've been over here for 6 hours out of my Saturday, while Dylan's just hanging at home. Like I don't mind that. But also, if I had to spend every day
Well,
with him,
If I had to too, yes, of course. But would we get annoyed of each other if he was the only person I saw all day, every day? Absolutely.
I mean, like not like isolate yourselves. Like you went and hung out with your friends together.
But he was with me the whole time. No, no thanks. And I don't think he wants.
I
that
don't. I don't think Dylan wants that.
You're just saying you.
I
want
don't say. I'm not saying I want that, but I'm saying I could do that.
Yeah, like I could do it, but I do think for like me and Caleb's relationship, that's what I was gonna say. Like how we keep our marriage alive is we make time for each other. Like we enjoy hanging out with each other. I'm not saying we don't, but like for us, we have to have that reset where like we go and have like not. I'm not saying like a day or like a week, but like an hour away from each other, where like Caleb will go golf. And yeah, it takes up
Oh,
half of
yeah.
his day. Like he'll have his own hobbies, but then also at the same time, like we have the same hobbies, like what you're saying, Stick. Like
Yeah.
we both love to go to the movies. Like we both like to go mini putting. We both like to go bowling. Like there's things that we like to
Yes.
do together, but at the same time, like every once in a while, having our own our own hobbies and remembering that we're also our own person, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
100% Dylan plays like 80 hours of Xbox every week.
yeah,
Time
So
to hit Caleb up.
yeah.
yeah.
And like I think it's healthy for a relationship to go our separate ways and like
And be okay.
me go hang out with like you and Morgan and Holly.
Yes, and not think about what's my spouse doing the entire time, worried about them.
No. Yeah, and he gets his stuff done that he wants to
Yes.
get done like around the house
Yes.
or
Or
whatever.
yeah, like whatever they want to do.
And vice versa. Like if he goes golfing with his brother in Westcott or something, like I'll get my stuff done. My alone
Yes.
time or whatever.
That's usually when I'm most productive, when I know Dylan's going somewhere
Mhm.
and coming home.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I want to have those things done by the time he gets home.
Me too.
I
so
would
that we
say
can
that.
spend
Yeah,
time.
I would say the same thing. And sometimes like, well, I guess Stick and Dylan are the opposite, but like Caleb works from home. And so then when I come home, like I've left the house and Caleb's still at the house. Where sometimes like I enjoy when Caleb goes golfing when I get home from work because, and I'm sure he enjoys going golfing too because he gets to leave the house. But at the same time, then I get the house to myself where like I never get
Like
the
your
house.
roles like switch. Like
Yeah.
he's been home all day, you've been
Right.
away. So you want to be home and he wants to be away and do
Right.
something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It all makes total sense.
Yeah. So I agree with everybody's statements. Like for sure, like laugh with each
Mhm.
other, laugh at each other, like have some humor.
Like we have to break out of like the monotony of every day. Like especially when you're married and you have a routine, you have the same jobs, you have the same schedule. Like just doing something spontaneously.
Yeah.
Too.
And I think remembering like
Planning a quick little trip
Oh
or
yeah.
like CJ planned a trip to like a spa in Wisconsin last
Mhm.
January and that was so nice. We only went for 2 days. But it was just a break out of our normal routine and that like brought us
Yeah.
closer.
Yes.
Made things not so like, oh, like robots, you know.
Yeah. I've noticed the thing too, Dylan, he'll ask what I want to do and then ask if like, do you want to go get mums? Do you want to get pumpkins? Do you want to stop at Starbucks?
Like if he knows that's what you
Yeah,
want to
like
do.
it's like those are my things I want to do and I like to do. He'll ask me and be like, do you want to do this? Like a child.
Yeah.
Like I'm a child and I get excited about it.
yeah. And I would say at the same time, like as hard as it is, like don't take life too seriously.
Yes. And this is like what I say this to Dylan all the time. Like if like last week Diggs was wagging his tail and he knocked over a glass on the thing. And I just always say messes can be cleaned up. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal. Like this didn't make or break us. Like things, because I know a lot of people that like if they're feeling overwhelmed, that just sends them.
Sends it over.
Yes. But like little things like that in any aspect of your relationship, like little things that can be fixed like that.
Yeah.
Don't make it into an argument.
I would agree.
Right.
And like know when your partner is having one of those days.
Yes, and you can understand what mood
Yeah,
they're
and like
in.
what do you need to support them in
Mhm.
that mood, but also not like encourage them to like pass like their anger onto you, I guess, from whatever happened throughout the
Yes.
day.
Like if I know Dylan has a 12, 13-hour day, I know he's going to want to come home, eat a good meal, and probably just go to bed.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I don't take that as like something against me.
Yeah.
Like him not coming home in a good mood, you know? Because that's when we build
Yeah,
resentment
for sure.
Yeah.
and leads to other shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Agree.
Next question. What is your favorite childhood memory?
I feel like that's a really hard question too.
Yeah, do we want to skip that one?
I just feel like there's not like one thing that stands out to me. Because I feel like, well, we all had good childhoods.
Yeah.
That helps.
Like it was like weekly cool things we were doing that our parents
Yeah.
took us on or we went somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go a lot of places.
No, like
I mean,
our
not for lack
I mean,
of-
my parents traveled with us a lot, but like our thing was like just going to the Wisconsin Dells.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ours was like going to our aunt's down in southern Illinois, but it was still fun.
Where we had a free
But it was
place
still
to stay.
fun. Like we would,
Yeah.
But they had 4 freaking kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
we would stop and get
yes.
like snacks and stuff. Me and Avery were talking about this the other day. We would stop at the gas station and get like snacks and drive down there. And like when you're that age, like that feels like you're going somewhere else.
the
Yes.
road trip.
And it's
Yes.
funny
you
because
know?
like now I live there.
But even just
Yeah.
like staying out until it was dark with like the neighbors.
Yes, and like
having a
riding your bikes around
bonfire.
all over the
Yeah.
street.
Just like that simple stuff.
Yeah, there was an
too.
Emily Street gang growing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was like 6 of us.
We didn't have a full gang. There was 5 of us.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Just because 3 of us and 2 of them.
It was the 4 houses on my parents' street.
Yeah. All right. Next question is, what's one thing you could never live without?
Go ahead, Stick. We'll let you lead.
Because
No,
know
you
what my
can't choose
answer's
your
gonna be.
dogs, and you can't choose Dylan.
That's not. No, it's not like
Yeah,
a living
it
thing.
has
it's
to
not
be
like
like-
a person.
Like an
No.
object.
We know this. We know the answer to this. It's B.
Oh, we did. Yeah, it's B.
It's 100% B.
Go ahead, tell them what B.
It's my baby blanket. I still sleep with it.
But you can't. Is it a blanket still?
It is. I mean, it's rough. It looks rough.
Have you tied pieces of it together or not?
Am I on a lie detector?
And don't lie because I seen that shit.
I just got interrogated.
Do you when pieces
Yeah.
fall off? Do you save them?
They're asking
she
me all
not to
this
back
because
on.
they already know. Yes, I do that, and I leave them on the end table.
For Dylan to find, or just infinite?
Like
He
timer.
doesn't
back
mind
on?
them.
You leave them there forever, like as decor.
No. They're just.
They
sitting on your
eventually get
diner.
thrown out.
Oh my God, you're throwing away B.
I don't want to talk
Oh.
about it.
Make her feel guilty.
I do.
Now tell the people. Can you run B through the washer?
Maybe I could.
Would he
I
deteriorate?
don't know if it would survive.
You're not willing to
but
risk
I'm not
it.
willing to risk it. No,
Right.
B does not get washed. And for like the first 6 months I was dating Dylan, I hid B from
good
him.
reason.
For
Like,
good
so like, when
reasons.
did you show Dylan B? Like, how did you break the news? 6 months? That's a
like
while.
we just were at my house and we just went to go to bed one night and it was just laying on my bed.
And he was like, "Why do you have a wash rag
I
on your
don't
bed?"
think I honestly don't think he even questioned me. I think I beat him to it and was like, "This is my blanket," and I sleep with it every night.
Was he like, "Were you homeless in your past life?"
No, I don't think he really even passed judgment.
No.
That's when
He
you
just
knew he
probably
was
instantly
one,
knew
yeah?
this thing's not going
We asked you the
away.
question, when did you know Dylan was the one? Was it when he didn't question B?
That could have been a huge turning moment. Yeah, turning point. When he didn't judge me for that, like some other folk I know.
Arlo.
Say our names. Why don't you?
Okay, Avery, what about you?
No. Your turn. I don't know.
Wow, that was aggressive.
Because I really don't know. Like,
An object?
yeah, like an object that I would have to have, like something like that. Like, yeah, you've had that for 30 years and you've always like slept with it.
Yeah.
But I don't have
I
something.
mean, I
like
was gonna
that.
say like something I could never live without is, I guess this is so like surface level, but my eyebrow pencil.
Okay, that's fair.
I wasn't trying to
mean,
get too
that's fair.
deep.
If you're
I
someone
fill these
that
bad boys in every day.
No, then you
Yeah.
can do that too. If it's something,
I just have something that is
Yeah, you
deep
do.
though.
And I'm glad for you. But for me, I don't. And so for me, unless like we were including like our dogs or our husbands or
sure,
our
if it was
family
a
members.
living
But if I
thing.
had to choose an object, like it would have to be like, yeah, my eyebrow pencil, because the only thing that I feel like I can't do life with, like I don't feel, and it's not like I can't have people see me without my eyebrows filled in. It's more for me. Like it's just a part.
Like you don't feel put together unless
Right.
your eyebrows are done. That's how I feel about my nails.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel right if I don't have my nails done.
Yeah, I don't feel right if my eyebrows aren't done.
Anything surface level for you, Abe?
Still not clicking for Abe.
Plain Jane over there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff I rely on. My toothbrush.
What about your fucking glasses, bitch? You can't see.
Okay, well, yeah, but I mean, like that is
Well, I can't think of anything else for you.
my toothbrush. Like I said, I would like to have a toothbrush with me. I know some people in here that wouldn't, but
Oh, I always bring one. I had one at your house, but you threw it away. I like
Wait, why did you throw it away?
she threw it. Her and
TJ
CJ
did.
threw it away.
no, because she hadn't been here for like 6 months, so that shit was old anyway.
How often are you supposed to replace your
Every
toothbrush?
3 months.
Oh,
Oh boy, you're not doing that.
I think it's maybe like 3 times a year.
Yeah, mine's
You
maybe
just
2
up the
times.
ante on that.
Mine's 2 times a year because I go to the dentist 2 times and they give me a new toothbrush.
Okay, I've at least gone to the store and actually said to myself, I need
I'm
a new
a cheap
toothbrush.
whore. I'm gonna take the free ones.
Like, I will buy a $5 toothbrush. McCall's like,
Yes.
absolutely not.
Like I have thought about investing in an electric toothbrush.
You should.
Well, coming from you, of course, you're gonna say I should.
I'm like, if we want to get into that,
The only time I've financially replaced a toothbrush is after I've had like an illness.
What kind of illness? Like
Wait,
herpes?
do you
Like
mean
the
like
like
if you didn't get
like
sick
the
for 8 months,
flu?
you would keep the same toothbrush?
No, because I go to the dentist every 6 months, so I get a new toothbrush. Every time I go to the dentist, they give me a new toothbrush. Okay, so the next question is, would you rather have more time or more money, and why? Like why would you choose one of the over the other?
Choose more time. Because I feel like time is just more important than money. Like you don't have to have money to enjoy your time. As long as you have the right people in your life. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that. I think like time equals money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And if I had more money, like, would I be the same person?
And if you had more money, I guess.
If I had more money, I feel like I'd have more free time because I wouldn't have to work.
Yeah, but is that
Yeah.
implied, or are you working more to make more money?
Right. Do you know if you're trying to?
Oh, it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
I guess the question is pretty like.
That's my viewpoint. Like if I had to work really hard to get all this money
Oh, then no. More
and not
time.
live my life.
I think for me, like I can adapt. I guess this is getting deep too. Geez, all these questions, you feel like they're surface level and they get deep. But like when I was younger, right out of college, like I made a decent amount of money at a very young age. And I felt like that's what I wanted, was like I always wanted to make a lot of money and just
Yes.
like nose to the grindstone type of life.
Uh-huh.
And then I had some experiences that kind of changed my viewpoint on that, and now I value my personal time way more, and I've always figured I can adapt my personal life to how much money I'm making.
Right.
So if I
Exactly.
had
That's what
more
I mean. Yeah.
time, then and I've never been, I mean, I do enjoy nice things. I'm not saying I don't enjoy nice things and I
Right.
wouldn't want to go on vacations with my family, but if this question was like if you had more money, you had to have hold a higher position, which then in turn would require working more,
Right.
I would
That's how
choose
I viewed
time
it.
and adapt my life to
Yeah.
my financial situation.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I do that kind of. Like I stopped working 5 days a week so I could spend more time with my
Mhm.
child. We're not making as much money, so
Not
we're
all
not
heroes
spending as
wear
much money.
capes.
Right. And I don't want to climb the corporate ladder.
No, and I don't really have like a big desire to
No.
be like a top dog, but that hasn't ever really been me.
That's never been my personality either.
No.
I'm perfectly fine with being in the background doing behind the scenes work.
Too.
I don't care.
It's no problem.
I love it, in fact.
Yeah.
Like I also don't need to be recognized for what I did.
Nope.
If the job gets done and people are happy, sweet. And I don't have to talk.
Even better.
Even better.
Like I'll go do my job, but like
Right.
please don't ask me to do more than that. Like above and beyond. Like I am very much so, and I know this just as a person, like in the workforce especially. You go ahead, tell me what to do and I'll do it for you, but
Mhm.
I don't want to be the one like I'm not really like a leader type personality.
Right. Who like delegates tasks to people.
Yeah, because I just want to stay in my lane, focus on
Yes.
what I need to do, not what 25
Like
other
I
people.
never want to be a manager. I don't want to manage people.
Right.
I just want to do my job, get it done,
Yeah.
do it
Go
well,
home,
do it well.
not have to worry about it at night.
Yes, and I don't want it to be a high level of a job that I go home and only think about my job.
Yeah.
Like I want to turn it off.
Yes.
Like when 4 p.m. hits on my regular day, I'm like, I'm in me
This is
mode.
my time now.
This is me.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about the emails I'm receiving.
Yeah. Or have to be constantly at everybody's disposal.
Yes, and a lot of people can't shut that off.
No.
No, I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
I was a manager for 6-7 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I can tell you that like when I first graduated from college, that's all I wanted. Like, but I think at that stage we didn't, I mean, this is getting deep too. We didn't grow up having a lot of money. And so I think when I graduated, like I wanted, and our mom our whole life has always said like make sure you're financially stable, make sure you can support yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I graduated from school, I did have that like mindset, like that leadership, like I want to manage people, I want to be the top dog type of mindset, I guess, where not everybody does. But it took me 6-7 years to learn that's not what I want. Like
Yeah.
I truly do value, like you guys are saying, like clocking out my free time and just doing my own tasks. Like I managed over 100 people, and nothing is more stressful, which also ruins relationships outside of work because you can't turn that off.
Right.
So what's the point? You're working so much you can't even spend the money you're making.
Exactly.
You're just building like generational wealth for what, your kids to enjoy, and you're just stressed out all the time.
Well, then your kids don't get a relationship with you. They get your money when you die.
Yeah, and I'd rather
Yeah.
have a relationship than inherit
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, and you can always adapt your lifestyle to how much money you make.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's what you value. It's what it
It
comes
really is
down
what you
to.
value. And I really value my time not working.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because especially being a salary worker, like when I'm not getting paid in my mind, I'm not working.
Oh, same. I'm even an hourly worker, but
Yeah.
if I'm not at work, I'm part-time like for a reason
Right.
because I don't want a lot of things on my plate. I
Mhm.
don't, and I only get paid when I'm there. So if I'm not there,
Right.
I mean, and that should, and they understand that, like where I work, like that. I mean, that is how it is. And then the people who are on salary,
Mhm.
they
It's
do
different.
have to work from home
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because, like, it's just like if whenever they get like their stuff done, and if that means outside of the office.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who work from home in salary are like that. I'm not. Like if
Well, if you
I
get all your work done in the workday, and you're not in a managerial, like these
right.
people that I work with that are salary, they
And that's like my
are.
mom.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't
Like
shut it off.
me neither. I was working all the time, and
Our mom didn't shut it off
our
either.
Yeah.
mom didn't shut it off, but I completely agree. Like for me, I will come into work as a salaried employee and I
Mhm.
will bust my ass.
In the time frame
I'll
that I'm
give you
getting
in the
paid.
time frame that I'm getting
Yes.
paid, in the time frame that I'm going to be
Yes,
there, I'm going to
Yes.
bust my ass. I'll give it
Exactly.
100%. But when I'm done now,
I'm
I'm
done.
done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I have no
I'm not
desire.
spending my time in the evening when I should be cooking dinner and spending time with Dylan,
Yeah.
making sure emails that are coming
Life's
in.
too short for that for me.
Yeah. I'm not worried about fucking emails.
No.
I'm pretty sure I read a study one time, or maybe Morgan told me about this study, but um, so there's some kind of study in it. It could be a little different now because cost of living, but those who make 70 grand a year are like the happiest. Anything above that does not make you happier
I'm a happy
because you
girl.
can just meet right just right in the middle,
Right.
like it's not a ton of money.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have to work and like you might not be able to do super extravagant stuff all the time and take a bunch of trips and have the nicest things, but your work life balance is so
And
good.
I value
You
that
have
so
enough
much
money
more.
to do stuff, but
Yes.
like yes, but you also have enough time to do stuff.
Yes.
So
But I
that's more
also think
important.
it goes back to like what we talked about in the beginning of the podcast. Like there was a Wells Fargo employee that was literally dead at her cubicle for
4
4
days
days. How long do you think it took them to replace her position?
next day.
Yeah. So why am I going to dedicate my life to a company and lose out on time that I could spend with my kids and my husband and my friends and my family for a company that's going to replace me in a week? You know
Right.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Who didn't even see
I
that you
will
might
say
be.
not all, I mean, companies like big corporate companies
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I feel like I've worked for some people that make it more like a homey vibe. Like they would definitely notice if I was dead.
Well, yeah, so would mine. So would
Well,
mine.
yes.
But like
I was
beyond
using that as like a
that,
hypothetical.
they are worried about my mental well-being. They were worried about like my happiness. Like it wasn't just like I was just an employee to them. I
It was
wasn't.
more of a close-knit relationship within the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, it was a more of an intimate work environment too. I mean, there was only like 8 of us.
Right. In
Yeah.
like a corporate world, she probably had like 5,000 people in that building she worked with.
Right. See, so something like that's tough.
I'll say now, yeah, like for sure my from my coworkers in the company I work for now would definitely realize if I
Yes.
was
Mine
dead.
too, even
But
working from home.
yeah, yeah. So, like I said, I was using that as a hypothetical. I'm not saying any of our companies now wouldn't realize we were dead, but I'm just
But I think
saying
still at the
like
end of the day they would replace us next week.
yeah, and they have to. It's a
Yeah.
business. Like I get that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you have to understand we're humans and we're also gonna value like our own time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like as much as they value us working, they need to understand we also value not fucking working.
But see, I think yes, that's what I'm saying. The people I worked for, they did realize that.
Right.
They did
And you know
realize
what
like
that
you have a life
makes?
outside of this and we're not gonna, but that was the most um like where I work now, it's under a bigger corporation type of deal. So like the people that I work with intimately every day, yes, all know a lot about each other's lives. Like we all care about each other and like all that thing. But like we work for a way bigger system. So
Yeah.
like some of those people probably don't even know my name
Right.
way at the top, where I was before, like they were like, yeah, take a vacation.
Mhm.
Like they weren't like, oh,
Then
you're gonna take a vacation.
that's how it is where I work now, which is a large
Yeah.
corporation,
Yeah.
but within like our side of things,
Yeah.
we are close knit and they understand the work-life balance.
Yeah, that's
My
important.
boss encourages me to take PTO.
Yeah.
She
If
wants
you
me
have it, why
she
wouldn't you
wants me
use it?
to.
Yeah,
Because you know what that makes? A better fucking employee.
it does.
Someone who wants to show up and work every
Not a lot
day.
of places can realize that.
And my boss is the same way. Like my boss now is work life, like our outside life is almost more important
Yes.
than our work life.
Yes.
Because yeah, it is like your outside life really affects your work life.
It does.
Um
Yeah.
and it feels refreshing to have a boss like that because
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
I've in my past I've had experiences where it wasn't like that.
Uh-huh.
And like I think I was just telling you guys, there's companies I've worked for where I didn't take a PTO day in
Yeah,
years.
that's messed up. And that's why
Yeah.
you no longer fucking work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
No
first
longer.
place I worked for, they were kind of like, "Oh, you don't have kids. You're not married.
Yeah,
Like
you don't have
you
a
should
life
work
outside of
Saturday,
work.
Sunday, Monday." Yeah.
Yeah.
Just said that. You nailed it on
Work
the
like a
head. You don't
dog.
have
Who
Yeah.
kids.
cares? You don't have responsibilities
Right.
yet. And I'm like, but I'm
Exactly.
still a person.
Right.
I
Do
still
you know
want to
how
have
many times
experiences.
in my career I heard you don't have
And
Right.
people
kids?
think the younger you are, the harder you should work and you should grind and you should
Yes.
work all these days, 5-6 days a week because you're
Mhm.
young and you should be making money.
Yes.
But also while you're young, that's when you should be living a lot of your experiences. There's no
Yes.
telling when you're gonna die.
Right.
Well, and that's when you should be building the relationships to eventually have a family and eventually build that groundwork, to make life memories. Like yeah, that's the stupidest thing I've ever
Yes.
heard, but I've heard
Yeah.
it so many
That
times.
is one thing I love about my boss is the first thing like we have one-on-one conversations.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
be the first thing she asks me is how's my life?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't
But
want to talk
honestly,
work.
one stick, like that's great that you guys are having one-on-one
Mhm.
conversations because I know not a lot of bosses do
Oh
that
yeah,
anymore.
my
Yeah.
boss connects with me every other week,
But
sometimes
at
weekly.
the same time, I think it's because they're so overworked because
True.
companies, this is just going down a
Yeah,
rabbit
it
hole
is,
with
but
this
I love it.
question, but they're so overworked that they're like companies are cutting, like trying to save money, penny pinch anywhere they can, that our bosses are
Yeah,
overworked and they don't
they're
have
not even
time for
checking in on
that.
themselves.
So and I'm not saying your boss doesn't have time to do that, but whether she has time or not, like thank God she is asking
Right.
you that because that is
Yes.
important too. Like we are
Because
humans,
everything
we
of your
aren't
outside
robots.
life affects your work.
Right.
Yeah. And you do ultimately spend most of your time with the people you
Yes.
work with. So you should have some sort of outside
Mhm.
relationship with them. Whether, yeah, I'm not saying share all of your deepest, darkest secrets with them
Right.
and be best friends with all of them, but they should care about you as a
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
Shout out my boss.
So, anyways,
She's a real one.
yeah,
MVP.
MVP. But yeah, so I
Dr.
guess do we
J,
all agree then?
miss you. Come back to practice. No. I like where I'm at now too. I mean, I think it's just harder because there's so much more to it.
Yeah, and now you have a kid and another one on the way. Like it changes your perspective of what you spend your time doing at home.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you come home and you don't turn off work, but you turn on mom mode.
Yeah. There's aspects to like where sometimes I'm like, "Oh man, I wish I just didn't have to work and I could just stay home." But also there's days where like I work is like me time.
That's true.
Like I go into a different role.
Yes, and you do have a close friend at work that
I do.
that changes things.
It does.
Like a close friend outside of work that you work with.
Yeah.
Like you're close outside of work and at work.
One of my best friends works with me.
Yes.
Like you
Yeah.
guys
That's what
were
I'm trying to
friends
spit out.
before you
Yeah,
started
I know where you
working
were
there.
going.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
it fun. And I like my
Yes.
coworkers. I do.
Yeah.
I like all of them.
Like
So
getting along and like hearing your coworkers changes everything also. If you don't like your
Huge.
coworkers, why do
Huge.
you want to show up to work every day?
My number one
You don't.
saying, my number one saying is you don't work for the company, you
Yeah.
work for the people.
Yeah.
And
True.
I've worked for companies where I hated
Yeah.
the people.
Oh.
And that
Mhm.
made my day. Like what Avery's saying, I didn't want to wake up and go to work
Like
every day,
working
but
with the
hey,
general
a
public.
bitch has got to pay her bills. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's so hard to find a job when you're working a job. So that's why a lot of people stay in jobs that they hate
Yeah.
because it's a full-time fucking job
Yeah,
trying to
or
find
some
another
really
one.
just staying
Yeah.
in because it's a paycheck.
Exactly.
Sure.
And because you can't, a lot of people can't quit a job to take the time to
And
find
it is
another
scary
job.
starting a new
So,
job and not knowing if you're going to even like it or be good at it.
yeah.
Right.
The
Like,
grass
is
isn't
this
always
a
greener on the
good
other side,
is this a
baby.
good change?
Yes,
Is
I was
this the
scared
right thing
shitless
to
when I started
do?
at my current job. I had zero
Yeah.
experience.
But I think once you get to the point where you're like, I need a change. I don't even care. Like I'm
Yeah.
willing to take that risk. And if it doesn't work, as long as you financially can do it, but that's the key is not a lot of people
Right.
can financially quit and leave, like quit and start a new job as many times to
Yeah.
find
When
somewhere
I
that
when
works,
I got hired at my current job, I was working 10-hour days and then going to the station working 12-hour nights and coming back working 10-hour
You have
days the
to
next
be
day.
right.
I
How
was so
miserable.
fucking miserable.
You have to be willing to feel
Yes.
uncomfortable, like to go out of your comfort zone to ultimately find like what you're
Yes.
looking for. And I think a lot of people in the older generation are like, I worked the same job for 35 years. Why do you guys job hop so much? Because we are more of the generation where we're like, yeah, this isn't helping
Right.
my life. Like
It's not
I'm
benefiting
miserable at
me.
this place. I don't owe this company my
Mhm.
whole life. There are plenty of other
Right.
jobs out there, and it's uncomfortable to have to interview. It's uncomfortable to have
It
to meet
is.
all new people and
Mhm.
learn new roles. But in the end, if it ends
Right.
up working out,
Yes,
it's so worth it.
like my
So just try it.
situation. Like I was so scared when I
Yeah.
started where I'm at because I didn't know anything what the company stood for.
Right.
Nothing. But now I can't even imagine feeling that way.
Well, but at the same time, like, so going off of what you guys are saying is like, yeah, the older generation stayed in jobs because they felt loyalty to the company,
Loyalty
but
to the
yeah.
company.
nowadays they say like the longer that you stay at a job, the more money you lose over your lifetime. Like they do say once you've been with a company, if you're not moving up, like if you're not moving up in the company and you're not moving to a new company within like 3 years, you will lose money over a lifetime. But it all goes back to what we were saying before is like if you're okay with that, that's fine. Like nobody's here telling you like
Oh, yeah.
you have to do that,
Right.
but I feel like the older generation is so thrown off by why we all want to jump around to different companies because companies aren't trying to retain their employees.
Right.
They're not. But at the
No.
same time as being a manager in companies, I understand there's a cap in certain positions. There has to be. Because
Right.
you
Oh
have
yeah.
to want
Yeah.
to have
Especially
employees
these
that
days.
a lot of people are motivated by money, and if you don't cap, people are just going to stay in a lower level position making six figures when you could pay somebody 40,000. You know what I mean? Like so I understand both sides, but when I've had an older generational person ask me that, like, why have I changed companies so many times? I said, because if I would have still worked for the same company, which I have changed positions in companies before, sometimes I didn't even get a raise,
But you got a
but I got a
promotion?
promotion. They told me it was a
Uh-uh.
title move, and that
Uh-uh.
was a resume builder. That's what
Yeah,
they
I'll
would
show
tell
you
me.
a title move.
And that's what I did. That's why I'm working where I'm working now.
That's insane to get a promotion and not a
Yeah.
raise, especially in this fucking
Mhm.
economy.
Yeah.
Get
Right.
bent.
But here's stick.
Here's more work.
But here's
Right.
Here's
why,
the
because
same
they said I'm
pennies.
young. That was one thing they told me, and this is why I left. They said because
They
I'm
always use
young
that.
and that, I don't have 5 years of experience, so I don't fall into a certain bucket, but yet they are trusting me to take a role with higher responsibility, but they can't pay me for it because I don't fall into the
But you're
category.
doing the exact job that someone maybe that's done it for 30 years is
Yeah, it
doing.
sounds like a big HR lawsuit to me.
Mhm.
Sounds like the fire's coming, baby.
Watch out.
Wow, if I ever got promoted and they said your salary's not going to change, I would say your fucking roster's about to
I have to
change
go.
because I'm out.
Yeah.
But I've also
Yeah,
had
for
people where
sure.
companies make title changes where they're just like, "Oh, let's say you are a associate," and then they go around and they make title changes so that they think that they'll keep people happy by saying, "Oh, well, you're no longer an associate, like you're a senior associate." But that doesn't come with a pay raise, that just comes with the
Nah, if
title
there's senior
improvement.
in my title, there will be a
If
senior
there's
pay.
senior in my title, there better be an extra zero in my
If
paycheck.
there's senior in my pay, I've officially lost it because I have no desire to climb the ladder.
Yeah.
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 Something shifted in my brain. My
Oh.
chemical balance
Yeah.
is off.
Yeah.
Mm, I feel like you like I mean that comes back down to if you're happy
That's
where
what
you're
I'm
at, why change
that's
it?
literally where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I
Doesn't
know
make
people
any
that have moved
sense.
up and it's not good.
Well,
Yeah.
it's you. You
Yeah,
went
I
back
said
down.
get these customers
I mean,
away from me.
me too.
Yeah. And you tried it and that's
It
fair
wasn't
and it
it.
just wasn't for you and you were like, for my own
Yeah.
happiness, I'm gonna go back down. And that's really
Yeah.
cool that they let you.
I said take them
It's really
away.
cool.
They're yours. I don't want to deal with them. And now I'm much happier because I don't have the anxiety
See, but
of
and then you're a better employee.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's why
Yep.
I said I think you have to have one person. Or there's multiple people that are good at my position that I do, but I mean if you have one
Yeah.
longing person at this position, I mean come on, I can train all the new people because I know
Yeah.
the ins and outs of the job. It's not someone that, oh, they were an associate for 1 year and now they're climbing and climbing and climbing. Like no one was in this certain position for years. They don't
Well,
know.
at the same time, like it's not like you're
Yeah.
asking for all of like a rate, like a crazy raise or something outside of the pay
Right.
scale of that position. Like,
We get yearly raises and a bonus.
Yeah. and I think that's
So,
totally
yeah.
fine.
I'm fucking.
I'm
I'll sit
good.
here for years, baby.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now.
At some point, I'll be making senior pay in 30 years when I get that 3% raise every year.
Yeah.
It'll be senior pay for now, you know. Yeah, but in 30 years, it won't be
No.
senior pay. Because, you know,
It'll
like, you'll still
jump.
be, but it'll follow, like, the trend of, like,
Like
cost of
it's
living. So you'll
going
be
up.
fine.
I'm not trending
Yeah.
down. So
No. So that's all you need. Yep.
don't need
I
no more than
agree.
that, baby.
That's CJ too. CJ gets a cost of living
Mhm.
raise every year. Like, so.
Yeah.
And, like, contract raises and things.
Me too.
So,
I mean, I think that's pretty standard.
I mean, yeah, I'm part-time, so I don't get anything.
Yeah.
But that's my
I
choice.
was gonna say
like
at
I
the end of the
said.
day, it's all of our choices where we're at. And if you have the desire 5 years from now to want to move into management, like yeah, that's always an option. Like
I could. That's why I got my bachelor's, so that I have the options. But will I use it?
Questionable.
Maybe not.
That's
Maybe
okay.
not. Because I love working
I
3 days.
love the working from home.
I'm not trying to move on. No.
yeah. Yeah. So I guess we would all choose time then to wrap that very long conversation. Would we choose time? Avery said finances. Do you still feel like finances is your choice, or did it depend on how the question?
It
Like,
depended on if the question was worded the way that Stick said she figured it was, like, you have more time but less money, or you have to work all the time and have a ton of money, then I would pick
Well,
time
that's how
over
that's
money.
what you said. The second one is what I thought. Like I had to work harder to get my money.
that's how I took the question. But if it was very like
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the first time you asked it, though, like, what popped in my mind was, well, if I have a bunch of money, I have a bunch of time. But it's not like the question wasn't like, if you win the
Right, you get
Right.
this
lotto,
money instantly.
or could you
right, it
have
was a
more
little more
time? If I
realistic.
win the lotto, then I'll pick the money because that will in itself give me more time because I won't have to work. But yes, if I have to work harder and more hours to make more money, I'm picking I
Me
want
too.
more time.
Yeah, all day,
All
every
day.
day, every life.
All day, every day, in any state of mind, we're
Yeah.
picking that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we all agree. Well, that's all the questions that I had. So thank you guys for tuning in to
Yeah.
this extra
Bonus
episode.
episode coming your way.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And feel free to hit us with a follow and leave a comment or send us some feedback to our email.
Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah, all day.
Send them some more topics that you
Yeah,
guys want
send
to
in
see.
some more
this
topics.
clearly got us going into
Yeah, I
conversation.
really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah.
Well, catch you next time.